Before I get started with the story, let me give a shout out to Black Voltron in Discord for sending the story to me. And this is going to be just a wildly amazing, inspirational stories, especially to not only black men, but black men who are single fathers. And that's something that you never really hear about when it comes to stories like this, because you always hear about the story of the single mother, because that's what society likes to prop up a little too much. And unfortunately, it's embraced a little too much by our own. But we ain't going to get into all of that. So we're talking about this man by the name of Boyd Clewis. And he's the father of four. And he became a six-figure cybersecurity expert by the age of 27 and did all of this without a degree, which means he does not have a certificate to do what he's doing. He should have one, but he's so good at what he does that they literally bypassed all of that, and he became what you see before you today. And they said by 27, so, this is just simply amazing. I think he's older than 27 now, but they said by 27, he did all of this, and that's just crazy because some people, they have to go to school for what he's doing. He didn't. And he managed to outwork many of his peers who have the degree. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this. Boyd Clewis isn't your typical cybersecurity professional. By age 27, Boyd landed a six-figure cybersecurity job at a Fortune 500 company. He didn't have a degree or connections to get him in the door. But what he did have was a healthy level of curiosity and confidence that took him further than he had expected. I have always had an interest in IT, but I never pursued it because I didn't have a formal education. Boyd shared during an exclusive interview with Black Enterprise. I wasn't sure how to get into the market. I got my first experience tinkering around with computers while working in accounts receivable at a copy center. All of our IT support staff was in New Jersey. If something went wrong with the computers, the company would have to ship the computer to New Jersey and get it fixed. It was a bottleneck for operations. I became the go-to computer guy even though I didn't know anything. I was just using Google. Then that's when I realized that IT was something that I was interested in and passionate about. Now listen to that. This guy had no experience, no connections, no degree. He did not go to school for what he's doing. All he had was Google. So he just had to Google what had to be fixed with computers, and he was able to do it and send it back in pretty much factory condition, which basically is like a resetted version of what needed to be done. That's just phenomenal. Beyond words. In 2005, Boyd attended college and pursued track and field, but his college experience was short-lived. A few months after matriculating into college, Boyd became a father. In order to take care of his family, he was forced to drop out of school and go straight into the workforce. Boyd landed a job with one of the largest copy manufacturers in the world. He started his career as an accounts receivable clerk, making $13 an hour. Boyd knew that wasn't his final destination because his true passion was information technology. But without formal education or connections, transitioning to the IT world seemed like an impossible feat. Being a problem solver turned out to be a strength that had always carried Boyd forward. After noticing numerous computer challenges that Copy Center was facing, Boyd stepped up to the plate. Although his knowledge base was limited at the time, he could always count on his trusted friend to give him the answers he needed. Google. They always say Google is your friend. Not always, but most of the time. Boyd used the time at the Copy Center to build his computer knowledge. Then Boyd and his entire department were hit with a layoff notice. Little did he know it was exactly what he needed to reinvent himself. Boyd leveraged YouTube to train himself the basic computer knowledge he needed to make a career transition. Before I go any further, do y'all know what this actually means for people getting into IT later on down the line? It's basically saying you don't even have to go to school for this amount of years and spend all this money to get a degree, and you may not even get a job in IT. You can just do what this guy did and hope for the best. Like, this guy actually used a big cheat code that worked out in his favor, because now he's in a position where he's not only making a lot of money, but because, like I said, that STEM department, that's where all the money is: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. He literally found like the cheat code that worked in his favor, so he doesn't have to pay back a bunch of loans or become beholden to his college that he went to. So it was almost like it was a blessing in disguise that he became a father while he was in school and he had to drop out. And it seems like a lot of stuff was working in his favor because they say he got a job, his first job out of college when he dropped out. And that job had layoff notices, but it also worked out for him. So it seems to me like this guy is constantly catching lightning in a bottle. And that's very rare that something like that or that scenario would actually work. But it's working in his favor. It seems like a lot of stuff that could have hindered him is actually helping him. At 21 years old, Boyd landed a job providing IT support at a software company. He started working the night shift, but his skills opened doors for opportunities beyond his job description. Before he knew it, he was assisting with the company's security assessments. He was prompted to the day shift and took a lead role in helping the company strengthen its security compliance process. As he progressed at the company, he used his downtime to obtain certifications that he thought would make him more marketable. Time is something that you never get back. That's facts. I don't believe anyone should work for a company that's not going to invest in them. I wanted to add my certifications under my belt. I told the company I would do the training on my own and that they would pay for the certifications. Based on the recommendations of others, Boyd pursued CISSP, which is Certified Information Systems Security Professional certification. He also added the following certifications to his resume: CCSK, which is Certificate of Cloud Security Knowledge; CISA, which stands for Certified Information Systems Auditor; and QSA, Qualified Security Assessor. Boyd quickly realized that he needed more than IT training to take him to the next level in his career. Back in 2013, Boyd was rejected for a role at American Airlines despite having a list of certifications behind his name. Instead of relying solely on certifications, Boyd decided to learn the skills that would make him an in-demand IT professional. When Boyd became a cybersecurity specialist focused on credit card data security, his income and job opportunities skyrocketed. 2 years after receiving a rejection letter, American Airlines reached out to Boyd with a better role: senior security architect for the entire organization. See what I mean? It seemed like when one door closed for this man, like 5 more opened up. That's just, like, this guy, it's almost like he's like the luckiest person on earth right now. I don't know if he got a rabbit's foot, a bird dookie on his head. I'm using like old tropes they said that bring you good luck. Don't mind me. I was terrified. I was going from IT analyst at a small company to working at one of the largest airlines in the world. I had a moment of panic and I was going to rescind my acceptance of that offer. I was thinking I didn't have the educational background to work in a corporate environment like this, but my wife kept me going. She said she was watching me and studying my work. She mentioned that nobody knows this stuff like I do. So I became an internal consultant for American Airlines. I showed them how to implement new applications in order to maintain compliance. So he is indeed married. That's good though. Boyd quickly became known as an expert in PCI DSS, which stands for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, and was asked to speak at conferences and events around the world. Although PCI standards are an integral component of a company's security assessment, many IT professionals were not well versed in this area. For the largest companies in the world, non-compliance could come with substantial fees. The PCI DSS provides a uniform set of credit card security practices that merchants are required to follow. Failure to comply can pose threats to credit card users and merchants. This specialized skill set put Boyd in the driver's seat of his career. He became an expert in the PCI standard and companies were willing to pay a premium price for his expertise. A few years later, he was able to double his income by becoming a consultant. Instead of helping companies prepare for third-party security assessments, he took on the role of security auditor. As Boyd started tapping into higher income opportunities, he created boot camps to help others do the same. On the weekends, he hosted events in different cities and countries to teach others in demand IT skills. His training helped more people double their income within 90 days, going from $50,000 IT support worker to 6-figure cybersecurity professional, according to testimonials. COVID-19 pushed all of Boyd's in-person workshops into an online program. Instead of being a setback, the pandemic provided an opportunity for Boyd to reach more professionals. Again, this guy has the best luck in the world. To date, Boyd has helped over 300 IT professionals gain the confidence and skills needed to accelerate their IT success. He teaches others how to achieve 6-figure success without studying for tons of certifications. Boyd's programs have been a hit among IT professionals. By helping more people expanding their income potential, he's been able to develop a 7-figure business in less than a year. As the founder of Baxter Clewis Consulting, he's been able to provide mentorship, internship opportunities, and step-by-step training that IT professionals struggle to find anywhere else. I wonder if he knows Robert F. Smith. I wonder if Robert F. Smith is familiar with him. And if not, I feel like that would be like a meeting of the minds right there. Like, can you imagine like going to like a symposium and you have these two guys on the stage with each other? One we know a little bit about versus one we're just now learning about, but seeing those two minds meet and just have a discussion in front of a room full of people, I would pay to go see that or to be in that room. I didn't set out to get rich from this, Boyd says. And the thing is, he didn't have to set out to be rich for this because we know that in that department, in IT and stuff like that, we know that they pay well. If you get up there, like they pay very well. Even at base level, they pay pretty decent. So it was for him all about the passion. And you can tell that it was because this guy did not have a background, a degree in all of this. That wasn't even what he was going to school for. And the fact that he literally, his story is literally the definition of getting it out of the mud. For real. For real. And it just seemed like everything just seemed to work out for him along the way. And he had bumps in the road, but it just seems like the bumps really just kind of flattened themselves out rather quickly. That's why I said it's like this guy caught lightning in a bottle multiple times and it hit every single time. That's why I said I feel like this guy's one of the luckiest people on earth. He says, I believe when you help people get what they want, there's no way you can't be successful. Now, Boyd is building a foundation for his 3 boys and daughter to do the same. Through his example, he's showing that barriers can be broken and you can achieve success by solving problems that others have. I absolutely love this story. This has probably got to be one of my favorite so far melanated excellence stories that I have done so far in all of 2021. I love hearing stories like this. I love doing stories like this because they often get lost in the sauce. Like you never really get to hear these type of stories come out because, well, in our community, this isn't praised. This isn't put out there. Like I said, I have to put a disclaimer. I put out there that I thought that this guy was a single dad, but apparently, he's not. It says he's married. He has a wife. He has 4 kids. I'm actually looking at a picture on the side where it's him standing in a driveway. I'm guessing that is his house with his daughter. So I'm just glad that this that this story was sent to me. That's why I'm glad, but also furthermore, I'm so glad that I have the subscribers that I do that can send me stuff like this because there's no way that mainstream media is going to highlight this. None. And I don't expect them to. We don't expect them to. Hence why we call them lamestream media. But I'm glad that stories like this out here exist, but I'm also even more glad that there are people out there that exist like this. And this guy's literally paying it forward because they said that he is doing classes showing people how to do something like this and then make a substantial amount of money within 3 months. They said this guy went from a certain amount of income to a 7-figure income in a year. That's not easy. So even though, like I said, it seems like this guy's the luckiest person on the planet, a lot of hard work came from that for him to accomplish his goals. And I'm like, as a black man living in America, from one black man to another, I highly salute this man. I really do. Now, this is somebody that people need to hear about. This is somebody whose story needs to be put out there. And I'm so glad that I could be a vessel. He doesn't even know who I am. I only know of him now because of this story. But if he ever came across this video and he reached out to me and he said, is there okay if I can come on your platform and talk to your audience? I would not hesitate to say no. To say yes. Excuse me. I don't know why I said no. But definitely, and I would welcome the thought, hey, I always envision that I can get certain type of people onto my platform, sort of like how Nicole does on her platform. And shout out to her for being able to get those kind of people onto her platform. That's just simply, amazing to the people that she's able to, the connections that she makes. But, I'm putting into fruition. Who knows? It might be someone out there who's watching my video who may know who this man is, and they could send him my video. And based off of what I just said, then, it could happen. it might actually happen. Just putting it out there in the universe and see what the universe tosses back in my direction. But with that being said, I'm going to get off of here. Y'all let me know what y'all thinking. I know y'all are going to have a lot to say down in the comments. All good things, all positive. I don't want to see not one negative thing down in that comment section, because the comment, well, shoot, the way that YouTube is, it might remove the comment depending on what you say. But I don't want no negative energy for this post. I don't want any negative energy for any of my melanated excellent posts. Those are the positive posts right there. And that's exactly how I want the comment sections to reflect what you are just now hearing.